Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's ubnradio.com.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate, to live, love, laugh, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Fay on ubnradio.com.
And welcome. You are tuned in to my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon here at the Sunset Gower Studios, Universal Broadcasting Network, and every Thursdays at 7 and Saturdays at 11 on my syndicated CNBC News Radio channel, KCAA, AM 1050, and now FM 106.5. And this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K-words, no Kardashian talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests that help you with that. And before we get started, just a peace shout out. I'm starting to do this at the start of the show to recognize excellent customer service so that we're not complaining about the poor ones. Jessica at Costco and Eden at the Tuscany Suites Hotel and Casino in Vegas. Peace out. Shift does happen in life, and it provides the opportunity for all of us to make fertilizer out of the shiitake. And if you haven't already noticed, it's a radio for our deaf community series show today, thanks to my beautiful interpreter, Romina Mena. So, a little bit of applause for her. And I am very, very grateful for the many inspiring guests on my show. Frederick, you remember him, that has had his hands chopped off by the Rwandan genocide, to actress Jerry Jewell, the Facts of Life actress, who was the first handicapped actor to be on in her role. She had cerebral palsy. She's been on my show twice. They all prove a saying that my friend Larry Wilkes, who was a stroke survivor and is now on the other side, used to say, the only handicap in life is a bad attitude. So it's with that vein and that legacy that I brought to you in studio, a man who doesn't let his blindness stop him from anything. Actually, I met Brian this year at 2 different award events. The Asian Entrepreneur Awards that I won in 2012. He took over my title this last year, and I emceed that, and I was happy to meet him, and I knew that I wanted to have him on the show. He's a visionary speaker and business leader who went blind from glaucoma at the age of 20. His personal philosophy of no excuses and desire to give back led to his award-winning nonprofit organization, Blind Start of America, with the mission of helping the blind cross finish lines. This year, Blind Start's Dragon Boat Race team made history, being the first blind American team to represent USA at the Club Crew World Champions in Australia this coming up March 2016. Although blind, Brian has a clear vision to inspire and teach entrepreneurs how to be highly profitable with stewardship no matter what challenges arise. He's been featured on NBC, CNN Headline News, and now with the Asian Oprah on UBN, KCAA, and CNBC News Radio. Please welcome to the studio, Mr. Brian Tom. Welcome.
Thank you, and hi and happy holidays, Dr. Marissa.
And happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
This is a wonderful, it's my favorite season of joy, right up my life alley. And I'm glad that you were able we were able to get this to happen.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Excited.
So let's go back to when you were 20 years old. And I'm assuming that everything before that had been somewhat okay. And take me back to what that was like. So you were 20 years old, you graduated from high school, you'd started a business, and then what happened?
Yes, at age 20, I was at my dream school at UCLA. Go Bruins.
My SC listeners not going to like that. However, I did teach at UCLA for 6 years in the business school, so I can be with you.
Yes. Well, my wife also is a pharmacist from USC, so we call ourselves Brogens. So we always win.
Okay.
So going back to age 20, I had my sight, but I was always highly myopic or highly nearsighted, and I never thought in a million years that I would go blind.
Right.
And, at that age, you think you're unstoppable, invincible. And I was finishing up at UCLA. I'm the oldest of three boys. And so I wanted to be that positive role model. And, my folks didn't have much money, so we had to find a way to pay for college. And I wanted to be that example. And so all I remember is that it was getting harder and harder for me to drive. I wore contact lenses all the time, and it was getting dangerous. At night, I couldn't see on the freeway, the glares. I could really feel that, hey, I was going to be a danger to others and to myself. And so then I went in thinking that I was just going to get a new pair of contact lenses, and lo and behold, the intraocular eye pressures in my left eye, my stubborn bad boy eye, was through the roof at like 46, and I had emergency eye surgery within 1 week, leaving me blind for the rest of my life in that eye. And that was a wake-up call of how fast an eye disease like glaucoma can take your sight if you do not stay on top of it.
Right. So initial reactions that time, what do you remember? Mad, sad.
All the emotions,
Yeah.
all the negative emotions. Why me? Hey, I'm a good person. I'm a good guy. I was a fun-loving, carefree guy, and why me?
Right.
And I would, that tested my faith. I went through all the emotions of depression, sadness, anger, etc. You name it. And again, if not for the right support system of family and friends, you really find out who your true friends are.
Right.
When, the shift, as you said, hits the fan. Exactly.
Right. Well, your mom's in the studio. You called her your number one fan. And the family system helped, the friendships helped. What was the switch? When did you move from that why me to being you now, which is really the you that you are now? I believe that every person has a unique gift, talent, and ability, and you definitely have one in inspiring. I had another guest on from Ireland, Aaron O'Dowd, who also is blind, and he's on a rowing team.
Wow.
So we're in that same. But tell me what happened. And I have listeners or families of listeners who have people who are going through, whether it's cancer or some kind of debilitating disease. What can help them get out of the why me?
Yes, I think three things come to mind for me. Ultimately was when I embraced my challenge or embraced my disability and stopped making excuses for myself. And I think, who you surround yourself with is so important. They say that you are the 5 people you hang around the most. And so I started to hang around positive, winning people, spirits, attitudes, where I had mentors that were both sighted and blind that I could look up to and say, I'm only in my early 20s. I want to have truly a life of independence where I can, finish my education. I can grow a thriving business where I can give back and make a difference, and where I can, marry a beautiful wife, which I did, Janelle. I love you, and have our own home, and really have a fulfilling life. And so embracing my challenge was key, and it became easier. 2 was my faith had been tested.
Yeah.
And so my my wife, Janelle, helped me to reestablish that as a priority in my life. And through positive thoughts, prayer, all the blessings, started to focus on my blessings, and that expanded. And then I think also, I call them dots, like Braille dots, when the right people, such as yourself, and the right events, that how we met, et cetera, they kind of line up perfectly, and you're doing the right thing. And so I just started to move in that right direction, dot by dot, step by step.
Love that. Love that. Dot by dot, one step at a time or one dot at a time.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, this is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And today, special holiday season guest is Brian Tom, who's blind CEO and visionary speaker and author, who has joined us today to inspire us. And if you can tell, Romina, beautiful Romina over there, is making this an episode for our radio for our deaf community. And Brian, you were talking about the dot by dot who you were meeting. You actually are in an inspirational book with some pretty big dots, right?
Yes.
Jack Canfield, Wayne Dyer. Was it Wayne Dyer or
Dr. Dennis Waitley from The Secret, and Deepak Chopra.
Deepak Chopra? Okay. Not a shabby group. And speaking of that, Deepak Chopra actually told his assistant that he would be on my show. Don't know when, but that's a huge thing I'm looking forward to next year.
Awesome.
Yeah. This is the time of the teachers. And this is the time where you are just as important as a teacher as anyone who is sighted, because there's something about people who have had, I'll call it the fullest human experience possible, and that is adversity. That is through the pain. That is through something that is not perfect, so to speak. That you have this gift of going through that you can help people that I couldn't help, because I haven't had that experience. So, and I love the fact that you not just wanted a successful business, which is an educational business, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, so actually, I started my first company when I was sighted, just before I lost my sight. It was back in 1991. I was only 20 years old, and that's how I paid for college. And it's called CEC, CEC, California Educational Centers. And we started from scratch with 0 students, 3 staff. I had a small loan from my mom, Jean, of $2,000. And, just the positive attitude that we could be positive role models, big brothers, big sister, mentors to these children. Because back then, it was very common for, that's when the dual parent income started, and there were latchkey kids. And so there's just that traditional daycare. And we said, can we make it more fulfilling, more balanced? And so going with our mission statement that back then of helping every student reach his or her highest academic and social potential, we wanted to provide that that full potential, that full experience, because I really believe that one of the reasons that I overcame my disability was because of the rich life experiences I had at a young age, from sports to, a youth Toastmasters for public speaking, to Cub Scouts, to, just all those lessons that come from those extracurricular activities.
Right. So that helped. So and that business is still in place, and it's a successful business.
I feel so grateful and blessed, because actually this year, starting 2016, we're celebrating our silver school year, our 25th year anniversary. We currently serve about 10,000 students per week, grades K through 12, all throughout Southern California.
Amazing. That is amazing. What happened to you did not bring you down.
No.
It went all the way up, both, success on the business side. And then you didn't stop there. You actually thought that you would bring your energy to other blind individuals, which is one of the reasons why I want to present you with Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award, because it's people who not just overcome their own adversity, but take that experience to help others with the same adversity. So, thanks, Jarvis. Yeah. I don't give that out to every guest, by the way.
Thank you so much.
It means a lot to me, and you truly are an inspiration, and I'm very grateful to have you and your experience here. So tell me about Blind Start of America.
Yes, so about 10 years ago, my wife and I wanted to give back, and I was always raised to pay it forward. And I'm so grateful and thankful for the blind organizations that helped me when I was lost. Because when I first lost my sight, I felt like I was the only one. I was only 20 years old, a minority. I was a student at the Braille Institute, Junior Blind of America, and I felt like I was the only young one. I felt like, wow, one of the only minorities. And if you go now, you'll see that, wow, blindness is affecting all ages, all genders, all ethnicities. And so, it's really, it was, what really got me going was I started to be a student at first, and that really helped me to kind of reestablish my mojo, if you will, my confidence. And then I was always taught by my parents to give back. And so I started volunteering, not just taking, giving. And I started to be a spokesperson for some of these blind organizations and actually teaching classes such as fun and friendly public speaking. And this was my way of giving back. And then I said, okay, what can we do to complement what these great blind organizations are doing?
Right.
Okay. And then also 2 statistics really hit me hard that I said, we got to do something about it. When you kind of have that, when you learn about something, you say, we got to do something about this. We got to change this, right? So what I learned was that at that time, less than 19% of the employment age population that were blind or visually impaired were gainfully employed. That's it.
19%.
Less than 19%.
Less than 19% were
gainfully employed. And then that directly affects, obviously, home ownership, self-esteem.
Money. Yeah.
Exactly.
The
and
ability
ultimately,
to
independence, quality of life. So, so then what really got me, because if you imagine, when I learned that less than 1% of all disabled Americans in our country ever owns a home. And for the blind, it's even lower than that, like 0.007%.
Wow.
That American dream is dead. And I was like, we got to fix that. And, we need to find a way that complements these great organizations. So we really came up with the theme of helping the blind cross finish lines. So whatever that finish line is, whether it's higher education, a successful career, if it's a sport finish line with dragon boat racing or running, or if it's new equipment, if it's a scholarship, we want to help the blind cross finish lines together, bringing the community together.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful. I saw that you also have blind dancing. That's dancing in the dark.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We have. So we really have found our niche, and that came, I think, just from all my studying and just going for it, and so we really embraced again the theme of visionary experiences blindfolded. So everything from dining experiences in the dark. Wine, I love wine. So wine tasting in the dark, you name it. But we have the blind mud run every summer. That's at Irvine Lake. We have the blind and blindfolded dragon boat race team.
That's amazing. This March, you're going to Australia to do that?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
My goodness. As a professional speaker and author, I had a speaking gig at Edison years ago. This is probably 2008 maybe. And so we had a lunch in the dark event. And this is where, we blindfold all of the guests and give them a visionary experience, blindfolded. And I call him the legend. Head coach Gary Furukawa, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, Brian, how about a blind dragon boat race team?" And I said, "Hey, Gary, how about a blind and blindfolded dragon boat race team?" And we high-fived each other. and the rest is history.
Wow.
And we started off as a festival team only for the first 4 years, so which meant we only had one race each summer. We'd have one or two practices, race, and we would have all these city leaders, mayors, city council members paddle with us blindfolded to help support our cause. As a matter of fact, this past year we had 13 city leaders paddle with us. And so it just...
Were they a help or a hindrance? City leaders, politics, I don't know.
A lot of alphas on the boat. And,
I bet. I race sailboats, so I know. There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
We actually, come together as one when you put that blindfold on, and they really paddle for the spirit of the cause, and help us to raise funds as well. So through this process, the demand continued to grow and grow. And last year, we started our first full year season, and I'm so proud of our team, from our team manager Alex to our best coaches Mark, Laura, Jim. They really helped to bring the Dragon Boat community together. Dr. Chen with the Southern California Dragon Boat Club. Everybody just seemed to embrace our cause. And we got faster, lighter, stronger was our theme this past season. And so there's so much love, so much heart. We call it the 3 T's, Dr. Marissa. This is why we're winning. Timing, technique, and tenacity. And so when we hit those 3 T's, we're beating teams that are sighted. We are showing what's possible.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How old are the participants, from age what to what?
All ages. It's
ages.
awesome. All ages, all backgrounds. My mom even has paddled before. My wife, Janelle.
I think I want to try it. I'll come on as a guest, something.
You
right?
got
I
it.
would love to. I'd try everything once.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right, we're on record, so
okay.
definitely.
Definitely, yeah. I love. My name
Absolute-
means of the water,
Oh.
so I love being on the water. So while we're taking that little break, what flavor of Asian are you, by the way?
So I'm mixed, actually.
Are you?
Yeah, so I'm part Chinese.
Oh.
I'm part Mexican, and I'm part American Indian, Navajo.
Wow, you are a combo plate.
I am a combo plate.
讲国语. Do you speak Chinese?
Just shay. Not much.
Okay. Is it your mom that's Chinese?
My mom is actually mixed. She's all three.
All 3 of those. Wow.
Yes.
How
My
cool
father
that?
is Cantonese. He was. He's Chinese. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. So you guys are going to Australia, March.
Yeah.
How can my listeners support that effort?
Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Marissa. So listeners, we would love your help to help the blind cross finish lines and represent the U.S. In the World Championships. So the 3 T's, time, if you can volunteer, treasures, if you can generously donate to our cause. Our website is www.blindstart.org, and you can donate there and learn more about our nonprofit organization and what we do. And then, of course, talents as well. So if you have, say, a photography talent or something of that nature, we'd love your volunteerism in those areas too.
Great. So you have your marching orders. Here's a very fun way
Yes.
to take the hour out of Netflix and put it into something that is fun and will get you out, and you'll feel good about what you're doing to support this effort and become very useful and beneficial in the meantime as well. Great. So the books.
Yes.
What inspired you to write? So you've got actually 3: Stepping Stones to Success, College Goldmine, and SAT Dream Score, which, by the way, I'm going to have to say, my daughter just got accepted at Cornell
Congratulations.
last week.
Wow.
Okay, I need an applause for that.
Yeah.
That's like the huge.
Oh, congrats.
We've been on pins and needles for a little while, and then they put in 2 days you'll know, and it was like, I had so many texts from my daughter. I'm so nervous. So thank God it got put in out of our misery, and she did get in. So I'm just so super proud of Chloe.
Yes. Congrats, Chloe.
Yeah. So SAT. So you actually are writing not just about being blind. You're writing about our college system, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. So again, going back to you are the 5 people that you hang around the most. And so I want to hang around experts. And so what I'm doing is I love interviewing others just like you. Because there's so much we can gain.
Yes.
Right? It's almost like a shortcut. So I came up with these books I call hoodie books. Like, every high school and college student wears a hoodie. They have the colored hoodies. The title is basically in the Greek lettering, and then the pocket-sized guide. So it's like a kind of an airplane book, and like you can read it in like 90 minutes and get a lot of value out of it. So I interviewed a college admissions expert. He's a UC freshman reader, a college counselor and dean at a top high school in California. And so I wanted to get the inside track on how we can best help, kind of package these students with his expertise and my expertise with marketing and branding and really help that student to stand out at the top. And then with SAT Dream Score, that was interesting. So what we did is we interviewed 8 different students who scored perfectly or almost their SAT Dream Score, and we gave them different avatars. So we have like the club president, the musician, the athlete, even the slacker, so that any student can relate to one of those characters and say, you know what, I can do this too.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, and just for those of you who didn't score really well, my daughter scored well, but not Ivy League well. So I really didn't, I was sort of, well, you're going to end up at the best school that's going to be the best for you, sort of, moderating any expectations. But her essay was great, and her GPA was high. But,
Nice.
And that's the thing too. It's, when I talk to career and college, I always go and try to warp young minds. The first thing I do is I look them in the eye and I say, you can accomplish anything that you put your heart and mind to. And that's what J.J. Bristow said to me in 10th grade math, and it made the difference a lot. Of course, my father also said the same thing, and he was a PhD. Yes. He's on the other side doing dancing now because of his granddaughter. But the other thing is, if you do the best that you can, and you want to do the best you can, because when you do well, it's not that it's guaranteeing anything. You just have more choices. And that's the key. It's not a guarantee, but you have more choices.
That's right.
Right? So if you choose, whatever you choose to do is fine, but the more education you get and the better you do, the more choices you have.
That's right.
Agree?
That's right. And you have to be able to, and I absolutely agree.
Okay,
and you have to be able to sell yourself on paper as well as in person. And especially for this new generation, we want to make sure that they are packaging themselves the right way, both in person as well as on paper.
Yeah, you mentioned Toastmasters is an amazing organization that I refer my clients to all over, just for the sheer comfort of getting up in front of people and speaking without having to see them naked in order to be comfortable. But I didn't do Toastmasters myself, but I did like hundreds of hours of speaking in front of a mirror, which is very uncomfortable. But that's how I trained myself to be a speaker.
Wow,
So-
yeah, definitely. That whatever that stage may be, that stage time builds that confidence,
Yeah.
exactly, in that craft.
Exactly. And it is that time where we take a little break. For those of you who've tuned in a little later and wondering who I'm speaking with, it is the blind CEO, visionary speaker, and author, Brian Tom. And we'll be right back after we thank the sponsors of this show in 2 and 2. Peace in and peace out.
Do you want more life balance? Are you 88% happy with your health and well-being, your relationships, your livelihood? If yes, do the abundance. If no, and you'd like a life balance tune-up and align those head, heart, spark plugs and smog check the BS belief systems that are clogging your lifelines, contact Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura at www.4balance.org for a session on the air or a private one on the beach.
If you think you don't have the money to start your own business, then I have fantastic news. Now you can own a business that has proven to be a phenomenal success all around the country with very little upfront investment. We're talking the Selfie Station. Selfie Station is a portable, touchscreen photo booth that people and businesses book for weddings, corporate functions, trade shows, proms, promotional events, parties, and more. Selfie Station captures lifelong memories that can be emailed, texted, printed, personalized, and even uploaded to social media. You won't believe how much people will pay you to make your business the life of their party. It's the easiest income you'll ever earn and pays for itself in no time at all. You can start your own business right now. Let Selfie Station be the picture taker, icebreaker, and your money maker. Now, as a special introductory offer, get $500 off the professional package. That's right, $500 off. ubnselfie.com. Type in my show, Dr. Marissa, so I can get credit, please. That's ubnselfie.com. And Dr. Marissa. And we're back. You are tuned in to Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon out of the Sunset Gower Studios in beautiful Hollywood, California. Thursdays at 7 and Saturdays at 11 on my syndicated CNBC News Radio channel KCAA AM 1050 and now FM 106.5. And today we are blessed to have in studio Brian Tom, visionary speaker, author, and blind CEO. Tell me, do you ever sort of still feel sorry for yourself? Do you get frustrated ever that you cannot see? I mean, that is, you can be honest. and the reason why I'm asking you that is, what strategies do you use to not marinate in that? I'd be stunned. I mean, you don't act like it at all. I know when you first came out of the bathroom, I just assumed you knew where you were going to sit. And you know, it's one of those, because you don't look like you're blind. It's not in my, front cognition that you're blind. And when I see you moving around, I think, oh, well, he'll know where to sit and, put your cans on and you're like, and so it's one of those, is there a time? I'm sure there is. It's a trick question. And then what do you do to move past that?
Yes, I'm human, so definitely.
I'm glad. I'm glad. No, I think it's just as important to talk about this because, we all get that way. I mean, during the holidays, a lot of people get a little sad. They get a little blue. And to acknowledge it is important. And then to have strategies to move past it.
Yes. I've evolved so much, so it's, truthfully, I'm positive a lot, but again, of course, I'm human, so I have negative thoughts, when you get sad or frustrated, and I always joke that I'm the fastest blind man ever that you ever meet, right? So I just want things now, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about. That doesn't strike any chord at all. Sarcasm is another service I offer.
My sister.
Yeah.
Fist pump.
All right.
So I guess, I'd love to be able to drive a fast car. I would. Oh my goodness. So I had to surrender my driver's license at a young age. I was only 21. And, I used to ride a motorcycle. Oh, wow. I used to have a lead foot when I drove. So.
Well, you're Asian. Yeah. I actually got out of a ticket last week because of that. I said it in court. I said, I did stop at the stop sign, but I do admit that I charged into the lane, and because I have a heavy foot because I'm an Asian woman driver, and the judge goes, I didn't say that, and I said, I know, Your Honor, you didn't say that. I said that because I can, and the whole courtroom started laughing, and I was really grateful because I got off. Did I just say that?
You just did. You just did. Wow. Awesome.
Go back and
awesome.
delete that whole section.
Awesome.
Okay, so sorry.
So that would be one example. It's like I would have loved to drive here, and that. So having that freedom, I guess that's where I'm going at. Is sometimes, I do my best to be as independent as I can, and I think the way that I get over that pain when I realize, gosh, I am blind or I am visually impaired, and I do get frustrated or have some negative emotions. I've learned so much. So if I can kind of give it in a 3-step manner, I guess that can help.
Yes.
Is number one, I think really our mindset is number one. It's what you're telling yourself. It's a story you're telling yourself. And so, when you say things negative like, I can't do that, I'm blind, or this is too hard, or this is frustrating, that's just going to expand. And so I think what's awesome about, being human is that you can just, in the snap of a fingers, you can switch it.
You can choose a different thought.
Exactly.
That's the most powerful tool we have in life to feel good.
Absolutely. You can decide to change that thought. And so I do that. And so I just redirect, right? And 2 is I go for it. Many people don't see me when I'll bump into something. It's rare. I'm taking it all in fast, and I'm communicating what I can see and what I can't see right away to connect with anybody new. Like when I just met Jarvis today, right away, I know that the first 2-3 seconds, I want to connect like a bro, right? Right? Exactly. Next thing I know, he's getting me some coffee. I'm like, hey, thanks, brother.
Yeah, with my Starbucks card, but that's okay.
Oh, should ordered some more.
I know, right?
And so I think it's the when you feel like you're controlling what you can control, I guess that's what I'm getting at. Your communication, how you're communicating, what message you're communicating, how you're connecting with others, and then it's just easier. I think when there's that miscommunication, it can get frustrating because you feel like, gosh, I need more help, but you're not communicating that. The other person wants to help you, but they don't realize it.
Right.
And so that's what Blind Start's about, is really about, and the coaching that I do is really about helping to make sure that your messages are clear, efficient. And then lastly, I think that the thing is just go for it. In my book, Stepping Stones to Success, when I talk about my story, a lot of people are like ready, aim, fire. And I've just never been that way. So once I decide, I just fire. and usually it turns out, and I kind of calibrate after that. And so that's been working out for me. And I just kind of take that approach. And I think the bottom line, I hope this helps everybody, is I always ask myself, what is the desired result, or what is the desired outcome that I want from that situation? And once I refocus on that, that focus grows positively.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So where are you going from here? I mean, what's your next stuff in the cooker?
Number one,
Yeah.
and I want to start a family.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that, but I didn't
Yes.
want. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, that's
Well, you know how to do that, right? Just checking.
Yes, ma'am.
Not that you've had to wait, but anyways, that's great. That's great.
So that's number one.
Okay.
And for our companies, I have a certain number of students that we want to serve, a certain marks that we want to hit, and then number 3 is 2 things: is to win a world championship representing the USA, and then this is something I think you'll love. I really think that we have one life.
Correct.
So one opportunity.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So I really believe in making history, bringing positive change, and legacy. So I'm very proud of our organization, Blind Start of America. We started what's called the Blind Start Cup. This is the first ever blind and blindfolded race division, and we modeled this after the breast cancer survivors race divisions that is all over the world at every Dragon Boat Festival. What we love about it is that it brings awareness, education, and builds community. And so we said, can we have this official first race that brings the community together? So we were in San Diego just in October of this year, and it was a hit. Every team from the Pacific Northwest, the West Coast, the East Coast, Canada wanted to be a part of this first ever blind and blindfolded race division. And so what happened is we sold out and teams wanted the entire boat. We only had 4 lanes, 4 boats of 10 paddlers each, and we had a line out the door. And so how we resolved it was we said, why don't we have full participation and representation from the community? So we had either 1, 2, or 3 paddlers from each team. And that way we had paddlers from every team paddling together blindfolded. They had so much fun. They paddled as one, and they made a donation to Blind Start of America. And in the future, we're going to support other blind organizations like Guide Dogs of America, the Braille Institute, et cetera, to help the cause. And then all these individual paddlers and their teams are saying, we love this. We want to take it back to our cities and festivals. So you're going to see a Blind Start Cup, I believe, in San Diego again, Arizona, Long Beach, Pacific Northwest, and Canada coming this 2016. Real change and legacy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Where in Canada? I was born there.
We're looking at. I think it's we did Toronto. This
Toronto,
one.
okay.
Talking to Tim, who's one of the team captains from the Canadian blind team. So we talked with him, but also Vancouver. That's where we met the Canadian champions, the previous world champions, called Eye of the Dragon, and Vancouver, Canada or British Columbia was just a beautiful venue as well and festival.
Yeah, I'm going to visit my mom on the 25th.
Really?
Yeah, up there. She lives up there.
Oh,
but that's and I actually got to be a medal giver at the Special Olympics in the sailing division. So, you know, this is, if you've never gotten involved in something like this, it's truly so fulfilling. And so your heart just goes out because, I mean, like you said, one life. And you watch people who you would think have a step down or something to overcome, which they do, but the joie de vivre, the love of life, for those who aren't French, that you feel it in their energy and the vibration. It's just, we had Olympic winning sailors in the unified teams that said this was the best race that they'd ever been on. So you know, to your point of, it's just an amazing thing. It's one thing to be excellent at your sport, but it's another thing to be excellent at your sport and doing something with your fellow man at all, you know, in all shapes and forms, kind of thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a real meaning and
meaningful.
Exactly.
Full of meaning.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Good. So your business actually helps students. So I want to make sure, is that all over LA or Orange County or?
Yeah, we're at throughout many schools and school districts in LA and Orange counties.
Okay.
And you know, our theme there, it's all about finish lines.
Okay.
Right. And so our theme for CEC California Educational Centers is helping young minds cross finish lines. Mm-hmm. And that's where we, you know, from tutoring to test prep to after school programs. So we're very well known for STEM. So our CEC STEM robotics, our CEC STEM public speaking, even our math Olympiad teams. And so we bring this STEM mania to your schools and school districts and really, you know, help create a brighter future for the students no matter what the demographics are.
Yeah. Right.
Or that.
So if you have children that you would like to give them a finish line to go towards, CEC Start?
Yeah, it's our website is cectutoring.org. and the full name of our company is CEC, which stands for California Educational Centers.
So if you're shopping in that area, you want to shop from someone who's doing much more than just that. And that's what I'm trying to get all my listeners to be, smart and meaningful consumers. I think that we don't understand how powerful we can be if we begin to choose our products with the person in mind or the founders in mind, and it's a way that we can support just more than good product. There's good product everywhere, but I want you to be smart. It's interesting too, just to say that Brian called me right before the show today because all of LAUSD is shut down because of some credible threats to the schools. And Brian's like, well, are we going to actually do the show? And I said, absolutely, yes. Because, this show has always been, I want to balance out the constantly negative news, the CNN, or all that's wrong with us, with what is right with us. Yes. And you are definitely what is right with us. So thank you for coming on and being my guest on the show.
Thank you, Dr. Marissa.
Yes. That's Brian Tom. And it's time for Balance Bar, where I get to encourage you to join me in a couple of things. One is the 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa. Today is day 15, round 54. Yes, I've been doing this for 54 consecutive months, trying to splatter you with not complaining and being grateful instead. And so today's balance tip is a lot of complaining comes from putting ourselves down or seeing ourselves as not as good as we actually are. For many women, this is more true than the men. It seems that many, many women think they are less attractive, not as smart, and are heavier than they actually are. And many men seem to have missed that self-deprecating belief system, BS, and they think they are better looking, smarter, and have more hair than they actually do. So today's balance tip is have a guy day, women and men. So if you're complaining about how you look, if guys think they're more buff than they actually are. If you're thinking that way, then I want you to take balance tip today, have a guy day, and not complain so much. And I'm so, so grateful. My app, my 21-day fast from complaining app with Dr. Marissa is out for the Android. We're this close to getting it out for the New Year's resolution on Apple. So keep an eye out. Next week, I know that I'm going to have something to show you. But if you go to 21-day fast or no complaints or Dr. Marissa, you'll find it in the App Store. 99 cents. Who says $1 is not going to do anything for you anymore? Great stocking stuffer. Please support my peace work around the planet by getting something that will help you lose negative weight. And we do have an Asian Oprah giveaway today. I asked Brian what he would like to give, and he has the College Gold Mine and SAT Dream Score books, both of them autographed, an ebook of Stepping Stones to Success by Deepak Chopra, Dennis Watley, and Jack Canfield, co-authored by Brian Tom. And then another Blind Start. Boy, you're like really giving me stuff. Blind Start of America swag, Blind Start eye chart t-shirt, and a Blind Start blindfold. Let's see what you got. Okay. You can pull it out there.
All right. So,
and all of those are Asian Oprah giveaways for today. No car. Did you bring a car? No car yet. Okay. So we're still working on that. But yes. The first one to go to my website, the number 4, balance.org, and tell me what Brian's last name is, will get the books. All right. So it's Brian Tom. And then the next person to go to my Facebook and message me with Blind Start will get one of 2 T-shirts. And these are really awesome here. This is one. Wonderful. And this is, let's see, No Excuses. I love this one. I might just steal this one myself. This is No Excuses.
I got your size.
All right. Perfect. And that is that. I wanted to give a shout out to Elke Becker, who just joined the 21-day fast from complaining, as well as I think it's Lisa. I just got a late entry right before the show. Thank you for joining the fast. And the reason why it's important to register is because if you make it 21 days in a row without complaining, Scouts honor, Girl Scouts honor, then you contact me and tell me you didn't, and then you will win a free motivational card pack of my 52 card pick-me-ups, Stacking the Deck for Life Balance with Dr. Marissa. Those are valued at $10. You can get them on my website, but you can win a pack if you stay complaint-free for 21 days. And that is it for today's show. Let's see, what we've got. And the app, all the graphics that you're going to love, they were made by my daughter, Sarah, my younger one. So it's now a family business. Next week, we are going to be singing. Yes, I'm coming out of Lounge Lizard retirement and doing my annual holiday sing-along. And so you're going to tune in next Tuesday. And Charles Holt will be accompanying me and doing a duet with me. So on a couple of them, we get to hear him sing as well. So please do tune in next Tuesday for another fabulous episode of Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, EI. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
Take away the part of me that wants to stay. It's all I want to hear my life and sing along. For without it, there's no laughter, no tears, lonely days after, no memories for the way things used to be. Many a friend has stopped along the way. You know, strangers even hear me sing and stop to say, I can see the light